Hello folks, welcome to our canal channel Jose. Today we're gonna give you an idea how we bench bleed brake master cylinder on this car. And we took it off and we're putting it back in, but we're gonna do the process of taking all the air out that is trapped in that little piston or cylinder before it starts connecting the brake lights into it. With that said, let's jump right into it. So here's our brake system, or the master cylinder is bolted on to the booster already, but the lines going into the wheels are not connected, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting some lines that we pre-made so they can get the air out of this piston that is here. We're going to connect the lines and then open it, throw some fluid in there, and start pressing the brake pedal inside so we can start pushing the piston to work. And then all the air that is trapped in there, it gets burped out and it gets full of brake fluid, and then we can connect the normal brakes lines into it. This is the purpose of doing that. You don't want any of that air getting sent down the brake line, because then you have problems stopping the car. So with that, let's connect the lines, open it, fill it up, and start the process. Once we finish that, we disconnect our lines that we have pre-made, and then we connect the actual lines going into the wheels, and then we'll go and start getting the old fluid out of the wheels as well. So here's a line that we have built or pre-made for this procedure. This goes into the back or closest to the booster, and then we're going to be using this adapter for the front one, and we'll put some Teflon not to leak. But once we take this off, we're going to make sure that there's no debris in there as well. So this is just to get the air out of that cylinder. So let's put these on. Now we just tighten them a little bit. So now for the forward one, we are using this clear hose with another hose to shove it into the fitting, but we're improvising. All we need is to get the air out of it. The other one we were able to pre-make because we had the fitting and the brake line, but for the forward one, we didn't have the fitting, so we're making this adapter. So let's put it on and then put it into the bowl and fill it up. So now we have connected the forward hose and then feed it into the forward bowl, the rear brake line or line that we have made right into it. So both of them are gonna submerge into the oil or the brake fluid, and they're all connected into their bowl. So if you feed them both into one, you're gonna overflow that bowl. So that's why you wanna keep the fluid at the same level, or it's gonna drop as the air comes out from the piston. So now that we have done that, we feed the fluid and start pressing the brake to show you how this works. For this brake system, we're using DOT3 synthetic. So we're gonna add to this system. Make sure you use the right oil or brake fluid for your system, okay? Okay, we have filled up the bowls with oil. Those lines are submerged into it. So now another thing that we can do is put a rag underneath, just in case those fittings leak by chance. So if you think that's gonna happen, put a rag, because that oil or that fluid can eat up your paint on your car. So you don't want that. So now that we have done that, we can start pressing the brake pedal slowly to burp out the air and start getting this so we can connect the brake lines to this master cylinder. So let's show you how the air comes out of here when we press the pedal. There's already bubbles coming up, as you can see, but we're gonna get the air completely out of this. Now we can start pressing the brake pedal. So now when you're doing this or pressing the pedal, you wanna do it slow. You press it and release it slow, because when the air is being forced in out of this line, it can make bubbles and it can splash oil everywhere. So you want to do it slow. So once you do that for 4 or 5 times, then you come over, check the level of the fluid, if there's any spills as well, And now we are going to be pressing the pedal again just to make sure that all the air comes out. And then we'll take the brake lines that we have pre-made off, cover this bulb or the master cylinder, connect the lines, and then we'll continue getting the air out of the lines at the wheel cylinder. Now we're done bleeding the air out of this system. So now we remove the brake lines that we have pre-made. Be careful. We use a rag so that oil that is in there falls in the rag and not into the metal. So now we take them off, cover this up, connect the brake lines, and we are done. Now that we have installed our brake lines into it, now we fill it up to the level. This is now we can put the cover back on, and we are done bleeding out the air of the master cylinder for the braking system. Now we continue to the wheels, but this video specifically was for this master cylinder when it's on the car. Well, folks, hopefully this video was useful and helpful. And for friends who are watching the video, haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you like the video, give us thumbs up, share it. We'll see you soon with more videos here in el canal, El Chano Jose.